Welcome to Chasing the Beats, a show dedicated to weeklybeats.com artists, their songs and stories from the 2024 season and beyond. I'm your host, SQF, and our guest today is Midimachine. Welcome to Midimachine. Thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, no worries. It's a pleasure. Thank you for thinking of me and picking me and getting me on the.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to others that have nominated you. I can't remember who exactly in that Discord channel, but I had definitely listened to some of your music, but I don't think I realized how much of an OG weekly beater you are.
Yeah, I actually, because like Weekly Beats is so it's Tim Trash 80s thing, and I'd come over from chipmusic.org, where I think people were talking about having like this weekly song challenge, and then Tim just piped up and was like, let's like build something around it. I'll put all the infrastructure together. Just people just sign up. It's just I think it was at first just chipmusic.org's code base, like transported over to another website. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not Tim. I don't know. Someone can quote me on that. I don't care.
maybe one day he'll be on here and he can set the record straight,
For sure. But yeah, so I was week 1 of 2012. There was some like bangers on that first week, and it was a little bit intimidating at first, like when you hear what some people are capable of just throwing together in a week, when that like the people who are like really well resourced and very incredibly talented, the things,
resources at all levels.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's like time. It's time, talent, skill, the gear.
Yeah.
But I think something that I've learned about Weekly Beats is that, and I think Drew Orange Drink did a really good video on it, is that it's not about raising your ceiling or about like hitting your ceiling every week. It's about raising your floor.
Oh yeah.
And putting in the reps to like, so that like, if you just have the crappiest day, you've got no inspiration, you've got, 15 minutes before the uploads are canceled and you don't want to bother me for a link, you've still able to throw something together, and over time, what you throw together on those days eventually does become better and better and better. And I think Weekly Beats has been, the years that I've done it and really like committed to it, those have been the years that for one reason or another have also been years where my growth as an artist, as a musician, as a professional have actually, that growth has been really exponential in those years as well. So I think there's something to it.
I agree. And since I've only done 1 year, it's crazy to think about someone who's done. Now, you didn't complete every year, which I'm not trying to dog you at all, but still, you did 7 years of Weekly Beats. Like, that's just insane.
Yeah. It's always something that I start every Weekly Beats year with the intention to do it, and what happens is usually some big life circumstance comes in and just because I think momentum is really important. Like if you can keep the momentum going, and you can see there's some years where I've like missed a couple weeks, but then been able to get back into it, and then like get to the end of get to week 50 or 51 or 52 even, and be able to say, look, I've basically done it, right?
Yeah.
And I think once the wheels fall off too much, it's really
it's hard to get back on the wagon.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's I definitely didn't want to miss a streak because I knew that if I missed 1 or 2, I'd probably fall off the wagon myself.
And I think there's only 1 year that I've actually done all 52 weeks. There's been a few that I've got like maybe 36, 37, or 2014 was tough. That was my like final year of university. That was wild. And then last year I was doing post grad. So like those kind of things where you get to like, an exam week, you get to like a
Yeah.
major
You're just like, I
project,
can't.
some crazy life circumstances happen, and it just like I'm just tilted and
Yeah.
I can't get back on it. But
Yeah. Yeah. You're running on the edge of what you're physically capable of, like time and
yeah, that's right.
resources, like you just said.
Yeah, that's it. 2017, not a weekly beats year, but I did attempt a little bit more ambitious. I did try to do a song every day, and
Whoa. All right.
I actually did get all the way through July before missing any,
Wow.
which I think that was putting the reps in for sure.
For
And I
real.
and doing that daily thing just on SoundCloud, and a lot of it was just like it, you know, no stipulation for even finishing anything or for
It's
being
like whatever you could get out that day.
good. Exactly. And like sort of learning to not second guess myself, or and
Yeah.
learning how to even just run with an idea, even if it is actually just crap, like unhinged, goofy.
Yeah. What made you want to do the daily challenge?
I made a song on the 1st of January that year. I just spent
Like
like an
after it's the end of a weekly beats year and you're like, you know what? It's January. I'm
yeah,
gonna make one.
I don't even know if it was that conscious of a decision. I think I
You're just in the
just happened.
habit.
Exactly. I just happened to make a song on the 1st of January, and it felt good, and it was cool. And then 2nd of January came, and I had some spare time, and I made another song. And then the 3rd of January came, and I did something else. I'm like, actually, like, fuck it. This is my New Year's resolution. Like 3 days late, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give this a red hot go. And I'm going to tell people that I'm giving it a red hot go. That's Australian for like my best shot.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But you're putting it out into the ether like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm doing this, which is kind of what I did with this
Mm.
podcast. Like, all right, I'm gonna do this thing. Kind of a like, well, I've promised people now I can't back out.
Yeah, that's right. And you get that sort of external accountability,
Yeah.
as well as the external validation of like people saying, "Oh, that's really cool. Like, good stuff, man." Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. And I think the years that I have gotten all the way through, because you start the first few weeks, like everyone's very excited about it. The comments are like nonstop. Like everyone is like
Yeah. Everyone's hyped.
listening to everything, and then you get to about week 4 or 5, and sort of a lot of the hype dies down, and then people start locking in, and that's a bit more of like, I think that's the real like soul of weekly beats. There is that lock in, that dedication, that like that quiet achievement that we all kind of do. And like I think a few people still, like lots of people still go and listen through stuff, and like as I'm going, like as a moderator, I'm going through, and just especially the first few weeks, you're looking through the names of people that you recognize. All right, cool, approve, and then you get to one that you're like, oh, haven't seen you before. You listen, and it's like straight fire, always.
Yeah. That's exciting.
So you do listen to a lot, but I think it gets to a point, a certain point into the year where you lock in, you just start doing it and making it,
And you
and
kind of
listening.
you have your like pool of people that you go to first
Mm,
on Monday
yeah.
or Sunday night. Like,
Oh yeah. You
yeah,
always you always yeah. Well,
I
who
gotta
who are who are
go.
your people?
Oh man, a lot of the people that I've interviewed,
Mm,
that's pretty much a hit list of people that I went and listened to very regularly. And
mm,
I kind of started out with those people because I'm like, I don't really have to listen and study up on a whole lot of their music because I listen to it all year.
yeah.
And I can go back and see like which ones I favorited and which ones I commented on, which is
Mm,
really cool. Because like even your stuff, I know that I listened to some of your stuff, but I don't remember commenting and favoriting stuff. So it's
yeah.
cool to go back and be like, oh yeah, like I listened to it again like a year later, and then I go read my comment and I'm like, yeah, that still holds true, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I love like the discovery is really cool because it's I feel like I would have thought a while ago that like every year it'd just be the same crew of like 100, 200 people at the start of the year, and then like we'd get halfway through, and there's like those diehards who, you know, they get through it every year, or they give it a go every year, and you see the same, you sort of see the same names. But I'm always surprised at how many people are giving it a go, and I'm actually surprised. I'll see people that like it's like, oh, you did this in like 2016, and I haven't seen you for like this entire time, and that's it's
Yeah.
really cool, and or people, you see people that you recognize from like other communities or other you know, other scenes. Like that's always fun. The crossover is always really cool because like um I don't like proselytize for weekly beats like in
Yeah.
particular.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely, if someone asks me about a community, obviously when it, you know, like with Judgment
But yeah,
Actor.
you're not like everyone you meet, like, hey, you should do this.
Yeah, exactly. I just got to Fonzie my mic every now and again because the cable that, you know, when you plug everything into like a big outboard system, it's, you know, it's a real pain to like go and diagnose issues. And I'm pretty sure there's a dodgy cable like plugged into this mic. I can't be bothered fixing it right now. So
Right.
every now and then you'll see me
Yeah, we'll
Fonzie.
tap it. Yeah. I was
A
like, "What happened to your level?" But
how
I do
however
think
long we were talking about, we'll figure.
well, we were talking about kind of once you get into the year a little bit by like, week 15 or 20, not only do you have your pool of people that you're kind of listening
Yeah,
to, but I think, at least I speak for myself, you really stop kind of caring about what you're putting out as much.
yeah, yeah. There's less of a impetus to impress. I'm not out here
Yeah.
like trying to flex. I
Yeah,
mean, I
like
never. Yeah,
week 1, you're like, "I'm trying to swing for the fences and,
yeah,
like, show people what I can do." But, like, week 20, it's like, people are in the marathon of, like, okay, we're
mm,
all just, like, trying to consistently come up with ideas and, like, crank
yeah.
stuff out and like it ourselves, but I'm not worried about how many comments this is gonna get.
That's right. That's right. I think it's actually really hard for me as someone who is a massive people pleaser, um, validation seeker. I sometimes it's really hard to make something just for myself. I really feel like, you know, I make a song. I'm like, I am thinking about, well, who's gonna like this? Who's actually gonna
Yeah, yeah.
listen to this? And I think doing daily beats in 2017, that definitely got a lot of that out of my system. I
Mm.
think there was a sort of there was like a layer of irony to some of the less, um, shall we say, optimized pieces, but I still think I let go of a lot of I let go of a lot of that. Yeah, that need to make music for other people.
Or at
Yeah.
least for me, it's sort of like and I think this is maybe my barrier to more heavy experimentation,
Mm.
is that, like, first, I want to like the song.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
if I don't like it, uh, then it's really just very disappointing. But then there
Mm.
gets to a point where you're like, "All right, I really like this." But then you can add in the layering of like, well, are people gonna think this is too long? Or is this section repeated too much? Like, I
Yeah.
keep thinking of the listener's experience of, like, where is this maybe annoying to someone where I've been listening to it so
Mm.
much? Like, is this certain synth noise repeated too much? Or, like, I think that's the zone where I really start to worry about how other people are going to receive it.
Yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, I think I've lost the ability to um look outside of myself in that sense while I'm creating. I think I
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
I'm just going full send, and then I'll release something and then realize maybe like 5 minutes after I press upload that, oh, actually there's this fucked noise in this song, or like there's a really like abrasive tone that I don't like. And I'm actually, but sometimes I'm surprised as to what people like about a song.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
sometimes people will say, I actually really like this thing that you did, and in my head I'm like, oh yeah, sweet. I fucking hate it. Like that's that's not my that's that's my least favorite thing about what I did. And if I could go back,
Yeah.
I would change it 100 times out of 100. But someone else liked it, and so I guess you really have to learn to make your peace with those sort of happy accidents, for sure.
Yeah. Or just like the dichotomy between what you like and what other people like.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. What I like is confusing and infuriating to some. I I think also as someone who can't make the same, like I can't fucking just make the same song over. Like I want to be able to just stick to one genre and just like
Oh, really?
if I could stick to one genre and just like get really fucking good at it, I think the trajectory of my music career would be very different. Unfortunately, I've got goblin brain, and I just have to like I just have to make something different I can't just make the same. I've actually, but no, actually, that's a lie, because for the last like 18 months or so, the big thing I've been doing are these, and I can't like play any or like upload them anywhere, but they're like bootleg remixes of like just like whatever, like just songs I like. And I just put like basically happy hardcore instrumentation over it with like donk basses, and then that's been like a thing that I've been like playing events. I've been DJing events just entirely comprised of these. The set list entirely comprised of donk remixes of like
Wow.
and it's actually been like
I want a
really fun.
bootleg copy of this, it's a shame
Yeah.
that we can't upload stuff at random in places, you know?
Yeah. Maybe what I'll do is a bootleg remix of like a Weekly Beats track or something, like something with like by SA Creative
Yeah.
Commons thing, um,
I mean, I think we always want something that someone else has,
mm,
and I really like the fact that you kinda genre hop,
mm.
like, because when I was going back through researching songs for this last year, like, your last song is, like, a rap, and then, like, 2 more before that, it's, like, this, like, ambient, like, soothing, and I'm just like, "Is this the same fucking person that's making
Yeah.
these things?"
Yeah. It's crazy, right? Like, and I think that is also a strength, right? Because I like being sort of a bit of a jack of all trades, and being able to say, like, when I've worked, when I have done music, like production work for people, when I used to freelance audio engineering and stuff, and like putting tracks together for people, I think you'd come across like a wide variety of genres, and of sort of people with very differing or divergent musical
Mhm,
ethos.
yeah.
I don't know what's the plural
I
form
don't
of
know, I'm not
ethos.
gonna correct you.
So in working with from people of a lot of different musical stripes, I think having the ability to genre flip or to sort of jump between ideas and stuff, it has been really helpful. And it's also, I think I've been able to sort of perhaps open some minds of some, like, so open people up to the idea that like the music that they play, like the song that they write on their guitar, on their piano with their voice, it doesn't have to just be that, or it doesn't, like the song that's in their head could potentially be completely different to the one that ends up, you know,
Mhm.
making a hit, or being being the one that they land on. And
It's like
to
where the process takes you is more important than the idea in your head kinda
Yeah,
thing?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think if you if you have an idea in your head, I think it's good to get started, to have a really clear idea of what you want a song to sound like. That's your jumping off point. That's your foundation. But you have to be able to, when you're building on that, get to a point where you can potentially go back to that original idea and just kill your darling. Like, just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
completely different. Sorry, I'm just getting a phone call. All right. No more phone
At
calls.
what point in your process do you take that turn that it ends up being like a completely different genre?
Mm. I think it's often that I have the musical idea, like, so the pure, just like chords, melody, maybe lyrics, and I might even just like, I might get to the point where I've fleshed it out quite a bit, and I might even get to the point where it's even been uploaded and released and stuff. And I think sometimes it's just time. Like, sometimes it's, that separation of, like, I've had the idea of, like, scribbled, like, in a musical sense, I've scribbled it out into the door, and like, just got
Right.
it out of the way to move on to the next
You have
thing.
a chord progression, you've got some lyrics, you've got like the
Mm.
bones of an
Yeah.
arrangement.
Yeah, and then I just I just get, sometimes I just get fucked off with it, and I'm like, I'm not vibing the way this is sounding, but I like the underlying idea, or the underlying musical concept of what I'm making.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's sort of the turning point where I'm like, okay, I like this, but I don't like the way it's coming out. It doesn't feel
Like
like,
there's something good
yeah.
here, but the direction it's going is not
Mm.
great.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And look, it's not. There's not like there's no like consistent sort of pattern to where that happens for me. I think
Yeah.
I'm just this like mercurial agent of chaos when it comes to making my own music. So I don't
So,
expect consistency from myself at this point either.
but I mean, I think there's something to learn from the inconsistency
Mm,
or even the avoidance of consistency, because like you're obviously making some sort of decision to not do something the same way.
yeah.
And the part that I struggle with is when I'm getting that same feeling of like there's a dead end here. I feel like I've got just a small number of tricks to go to get
Mm,
me out of that. So I imagine you've either built up a bunch of tricks or you're just like trying
yeah.
something out of
Yeah.
left field. So like where does that come from?
I think that's just experience and
The
time, right?
reps.
Yeah, the reps. The reps. I definitely do have sort of, as I heard from, so a person I work with, he's been a rapper, he's been a hip hop artist for like 20 years, and amazing at freestyle. And something he's told me is that every freestyle rapper, like a lot of them, they have like the sort of pre-built sort of bank of rhymes that they can go back to when things aren't,
Mhm.
or if they need to chain, one idea into another, they've got like all these sort of like presets almost that they can
Yeah,
pull
yeah.
from, and use that to sort of chain ideas together. And I kind of have a similar thing, I guess, with my production and with my composition process.
Mhm.
Um, but when it comes to like, when it comes to, actually finalizing a song, I think you can't really shortcut it. You have to really like dig deep into all the details and into all the little like nitty gritty shitty bits, and like actually like, really analyze it, and think deeply and listen deeply, which is really hard for weekly beats. Actually, I find it. I
Yeah.
That's because that's like my least favorite part of the. And I fucking hate mastering, because that's like that is mastering, and that like
Uh-huh.
I can't sit there. I can't sit there and like really like get finicky over details. Like, I really just
Right.
have to get the idea out in a broad, you know, passable sense, and then just move on to the next thing. Just push that to the side, move to the next thing.
But there are some
Yeah.
details that matter. What are some of the details that are sort of like non-negotiables? Like, these are the things that I definitely care about.
Yeah. So tension and release in like that, and this is so when I listen to people who are just starting out with writing music and with production, is that they can have like really great mixing, really great sort of composition and sounds and ideas, but the transition points between those ideas don't actually sell the idea, right? So,
Mhm.
when I have, if I have a drop, it's like having those moments of anticipation, and then like sometimes like subverting that anticipation or subverting that sense of tension and
Doing
release.
something
Yeah,
unexpected.
yeah, and it's not even because like I think especially with EDM, sort of like there are tropes when it comes to like EDM and EDM structure, and the reason that they're tropes is because they feel really satisfying on the dance floor or in the
Mhm.
car, wherever this music's applied. So you can't stray too far from the formula, in a broad sense, but you find the little ways to subvert
Still work in
expectations.
inside the box, but,
It's
like, a
like
little out.
dropping, like waiting an extra beat to drop, like to
Yeah, yeah.
dropping on the downbeat. So not dropping on dropping on the backbeat instead of the downbeat,
Like,
or like,
one degree away from the trope in a
yeah,
way.
exactly, like, or like
Yeah.
adding like you know like an extra sort of like period of release after a breakdown. Like little those structure I think is really important. I think making sure your song flows really nicely, has those good moments of tension release, and also that it earns its length. And I think it's really easy to pad a song out, because you got your DJ friendly intro and outro. You've got like, you might have 64 bars, like doing the same thing. It's really easy to pad your song out like that. I think, and I like that. There's some styles where I really like that. Like I love when like minimal techno and stuff. If I'm in a mood to focus, I'll just listen to like the same noise for like 20 minutes. I
Yeah.
don't care. But if once a song has a melody, once a song has like chord progressions and stuff, man, you got to really like
You gotta go
gotta
somewhere.
you got to go somewhere, and you got to. I think I really try to trim the fat on the structure of my songs, and sometimes that when I'm and that's me talking about my finished songs. Like, so a lot of stuff on Weekly Beats, I kind of just like, I get like halfway through making it, and I'm like, oh, fuck it, like that's
Yeah.
that's a verse. There's
It's
a verse and a chorus, or a verse and a hook, and it's whatever. Like I'm not.
yeah, it's not polished, mixed, mastered release. Like,
Yeah.
there's not enough time to give those final touches and attention to detail that you were
Mm.
just talking about.
Yeah, and look, I probably sound like a massive hypocrite because, like, if you listen to my music, you listen to my output from Weekly Beats, it's there are a lot of times where I don't adhere to my own principles, just purely because, like, I think cutting those moments of anticipation and tension release, like, you have to. I find that I have to make the song and then go back over it to find where to sculpt that
Okay.
from. So it's a lot of the time it's really like a subtractive process rather than a chronological. Like, all right, I'm up to the verse two drop part of my song now, so it's time to make the verse two drop. No, it's
Yeah.
it's it's going through making the whole song and then, all right, what am I doing here? Like, how am I
Yeah.
getting from A to B
We've
at
been
this point?
sitting here too long. What am I doing to take this somewhere else?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's difficult with because I'm not using the same process every time either. Like, some of my Weekly Beat stuff, it's
This is fascinating that you, like, don't have, like, one go-to process.
no, because like I've got some stuff where it's like I've set up so I've got a MIDI controller. It's an old CME Bitstream 3X, and it's just like a just like 9,000 million knobs and faders and stuff, right? And
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
set up a project that's basically I set up a project that's basically just like a 8-bar loop that I'm just mixing elements in and out of, and creating movement between, like, using like
You're kind
filters
of
or whatever.
performing it then, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so there's songs where I use that process. There's songs where I'll just make a fucking weird noise somehow and then just like build around that. There's songs where I've had a lyrical idea or you know, a core, or like a harmonic idea, and then build around that. And it doesn't always sound like that. Those processes also don't necessarily map to a single genre or a single sort of kind of song either. Again, just agent of chaos. I just can't do the same thing more than like
Yeah,
5 times.
yeah. Is it is it that, like, the beginning of the process is just something piques your interest, like you said, like
Yeah.
a weird sound, or like, "Oh, I've got these, like, 5 loops that kinda fit together, let
Mm.
me play with my MIDI controller and take them in and out and see, like, where the magic is between, like, combining
Yeah.
these things."
Yeah, definitely. And I think when it comes to the performance ones, I kind of, it won't start out with the intention of being a improv sort of thing. It'll be like I'll be messing around with it. I'm like, oh, actually, this feels really good to work with in real time. Great. Now I've got to map like fucking 80 parameters to 80 knobs and faders and stuff. Like, here we go.
Do you have some go-to processes when you get stuck?
Yes. Yeah. I basically just go through the Ultimate Boom Bap drum kit, which is it's a especially for like hip hop producers, lo-fi producers. It's like the holy grail. It's like it's just like every like a just shitload of drum samples for like making hip hop, making boom bap, lo-fi
Nice.
kind of beats. I just start there. I just see if I can make something that feels nice, and then I chuck.
Do you just, like, pull a bunch of random sounds in and, like
Yeah, well, when I'm so I run creative youth mentoring workshops through a charity called Musicians Making a Difference.
Oh, cool.
So I run production workshops where I'll just sort of go through like what are the elements of a drum beat that we need in our hip hop track that we're making, right? And so we're talking about like, okay, so we need a kick. Okay, I've got all these samples. There's like kick 1 through kick 168.
Mhm.
What's your favorite number? Like kid A, what is your favorite number? And they'll be like, oh, 69. All right, well, here's kick 69. All right,
Nice.
kid B, what's your favorite number? And I don't know, 42. All right, so hi-hat 42, that's going in. And then so it sort of takes the option paralysis
Oh, yeah, yeah, for
out of
real.
sample selection and stuff. And sometimes it's fun. There's a bit of like, because it's a big kit. There's a lot of samples in it, and I think this is true of any large sample library. It's like you might just spend a couple minutes just like
Yeah, just
pressing the
clicking
down button
through,
and clicking through all of them,
like,
and
doom, doom,
you,
doom, doom,
yeah,
doom, 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 doom,
yeah,
doom.
yeah. You make you see you hold the down key the down key down, and it makes the Audica
But
track.
then once you start building, then you're like, "Oh, I think a kick with, like, a little bit more low end would be better. Maybe I'll EQ it, or I'll go dig
Yeah,
through my samples," you know?
find something to lay it. Like use what I've got now as a top kick, and then bring a
Yeah,
bottom kick
yeah.
in underneath it. Yeah, and I think having worked at this place for so long, and like working with a lot of young people who are really into hip hop and into sort of that style of music, like making beats with them has actually made my process for making that sort of music like a lot more streamlined and very intuitive.
Well, because you gotta teach it to a bunch of people
Well, that's right.
over and over and over again.
So I need to be able to like pull like sort of iconic sounds or like usable sounds in relatively quick like in a relatively quick turnaround. And so I guess when I'm stuck, my process is make a hip hop beat because that's my
Yeah,
lane.
yeah, yeah,
That's my lane.
yeah.
That if there is one consistent genre that I have, it is like
So
broadly
you're like,
speaking.
I know a process for this.
Yes, yeah, I have a process for this. Or I make ambient music because I just like drowning stuff in reverb and
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it can just be really peaceful and sweet to just like sit back after you've made something like that and just
Hmm.
bask in the glory of your creation.
Oh, I did want to like divert a little bit from the music creation stuff and just
Mm,
ask, what else have you learned from doing all of this music making and weekly beats years and your everyday that applies to other things in your life that have nothing to do with music?
mm. I guess like that it's okay to dip. I think like that you know what like commitment is and commitment and discipline are like big things,
Yeah.
they're big values and like especially when you look at like self-help communities and you look at sort of you know communities and content that is really growth focused. you know they're really like they love to talk about the momentum, they love to talk about the discipline, the show up every day even if you
Yeah.
fucking want to kill yourself, like
Grind
nah,
set.
grind set. um
I
you know
got up at 4 a.m. this morning and splashed my face with cold water.
yeah, I wake up at 3:47 every day on the dot and I punch myself in the face
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it builds discipline. No, I fucking hate that. And I've there's a lot of shame I think that comes from this idea that you have to, once you're committed to something, you have to like see it through to the end. And if you don't make it, if it doesn't last forever, it's a failure. And I think that's
Right.
just such horse shit because like success, I mean, look, it's corny, but success is what you make of it. Like the only thing that would make it a failure is if you didn't try at all. Like if you get 2 weeks, if you get 1 week in and you made a song, like fuck yeah, that's a success. Like that's a song that you wouldn't have made if you didn't, have the thought and the
Yeah.
inspiration and the that drive to do it. Like so,
And
I
if
I, I
week
think
3 life takes a different turn or you're
yeah,
like, "This just isn't for me," like, you tried it.
yeah, 100%. So I think sort of letting go of the shame around not finishing something has been really like for me personally. And I think some people won't resonate with that as much, but like for my
Yeah.
circumstances and my in
I
my
mean,
life, it's
there are
yeah,
some people that won't stop reading a terrible book because they're like, I started the book, I gotta finish it."
yeah, or like playing a terrible game or watching a terrible movie.
Yeah.
I'll sit through it. I used to sit through like absolute dog shit all the time. I'm super happy now. If the first 5 minutes of a show do not interest me, I'm just like I'm fucking out of there. And it's not that
Yeah.
some people are like, oh fuck, attention spans, kids these days attention spans, like don't there is only
No, this sucks already.
you only have so much time in your life, like you
Yeah,
can't
uh-huh.
waste it just punishing yourself for
Yeah.
what like so yeah I think that's been a really big lesson, a big point for me. And I guess also just being able to discover what other people are doing and find sort of other. I know we are kind of pivoting back to music making here, but like just to seeing other people's perspectives and processes and I think learning from what other people are doing as well is
Mhm.
has been really it's been really like fruitful and yeah, I'm always excited to see when I find new things or find new ways of doing stuff. It's always like yeah, it's always such a like I get like giddy. So I was like, oh, now I can try it. Now I've got something new for the toolbox. I've got
Yeah.
a new
And,
shortcut.
in the short time that I've been in Weekly Beats compared to you, just the diversity of music that I've listened to,
Mm,
uh, is it's insane, and I think it's helped me just appreciate all the different stuff that other people are into.
yeah.
Like, have never really listened to a ton of EDM,
Mm,
but I can like it's great. I have nothing against it. It's just not something that I grew up listening to, but I can appreciate it for what it is, and I can learn, you know, mixing techniques, and I can learn, the tropes of that genre and how
yeah.
they might apply in other places.
Definitely, definitely. And I think I just when you're talking about being able to listen to music that you wouldn't normally be exposed to, and it there's one of the this what's their name? I think they've changed their name a couple times. So I think the last Weekly Beats year they were going as Emily, and
Oh,
if this
JWH's partner?
yes, just so like their music just is just so beautiful and like heartfelt and like comes from
Yeah.
this place of like real authenticity. And I think that I wanted to segue that into like the other thing that I've really learned from Weekly Beats is like that, making music is if when you make music and share music from a place of openness and almost like vulnerability,
Oh, yeah.
there's a there's this real beautiful feeling of catharsis that I get from that. And
Mhm.
I I think as someone who, like, without getting too like psychoanalytical and personal about it, like, like direct open communication has been something that I've personally struggled with for a long
Yeah.
time. And being able to have an outlet where it's really safe to share openly and vulnerably and authentically, and a community that's really supportive of that sharing and of the process around that, I think is just fucking wonderful. It's just
Yeah.
really awesome. So like shout out Emily
Yeah, shout out.
for making probably the most like authentic and like real raw
Yeah, that's a
personal music.
whole
Yeah.
other level of vulnerability, like, I think when you first start releasing music, it's like, "Oh, I'm a little nervous that someone might hear these sounds that I put together," but when
Mm,
it's your own voice and a subject matter that is maybe difficult to
yeah.
relay, or, you know, is telling something about yourself that the world doesn't know, like, that is a whole other level of respect to
Yeah.
creation.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And look, fingers crossed. We were talking before we went live about like 2026 being the year of outboard. And
Yes.
look, maybe 2026 can be the year of outboard gear and outboard feelings, outboard
Oh, I
emotions.
love it. I love it.
Uh,
Well done. Well done.
you got this. You got one corny motherfucker on your podcast.
That's great. That's great.
uh,
Speaking, let's segue into outboard gear.
cool.
What's some of your go-to favorite outboard gear pieces?
Yeah. Well, we were just talking about the Bitstream 3X, it's a MIDI controller. It also has DIN sync for like old drum machines,
Yeah.
TB303, which I do have sitting in the lounge. It's like on display because it's like a bit fucky. It hasn't had the servicing done where it's a
Yeah.
40-year-old piece of gear. You've got to like change all the tack switches out and stuff.
It's a
Yeah.
showpiece right now.
At the moment, yeah. Hopefully, we'll be able to get that sorted soon. You could probably see behind me. I don't know if everyone else will be able to see, but there is a JX3P synthesizer behind
Nice.
me with the programmer that is just so much fun. Like just really dirty 80s tones. Feels really good, and I want to be able to use it a lot more in the year of outboard
2026.
in 2026. As far as favorite out, like my sort of uh, all the shit that I've got sitting over here, rack like 19-inch rack stuff. The Warm Audio bus comp, fantastic. I use that on,
Nice.
like, do use that on like as much as I can. And the Drama 1973, so that's a stereo multiband compressor. Just just punchy as. So nice. Other than that, I've got like a couple guitars, a couple of like I've got a baritone ukulele here, which is just like
Nice.
a guitar with it's just the bottom four strings of a regular guitar on a very short scale. So it sounds it has a really like distinct tone, I think. Like a very small acoustic guitar. It's quite nice actually. And a talk box. So I love the talk box as well, which I haven't been able to use.
Oh, nice.
Haven't been able to use
Speaking of
very much.
80s.
Yeah. Yeah. I was until pretty recently I was playing with a band called Trigger Joe, and I incorporated a bit of talkbox into a few of our songs, and it was
Nice.
get back into doing that, sooner rather than later. Yeah.
For your you mentioned that you do some like techno performances too?
Yeah. So for those, with the donk remixes, that's like DJ sets and stuff. So
Got it, yeah.
that's a lot of fun. God, I love DJing.
I still need to
It's
hear
so
one
much
of
fun.
those.
Oh yes, we'll chuck the SoundCloud link for the first mix, which is a little bit chopped, but it's all right. It goes
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
all right.
Yeah, and obviously, like, so the way that I got into Weekly Beats was through chipmusic.org. So I do still have the Game Boy with the LSDJ cartridge. So I used to release chiptune music under the name Victory Road, which is kind of like
Okay.
pop punk, Game Boy stuff. Have been getting back into that as well. So if you
All right.
live in the Melbourne area, do come see me very soon. Come see me in September with I don't know. I think I don't know if any of the other. Catch and Ashes is a Weekly Beats superstar. So Catch
Okay.
and Ashes will be there. So
Cool.
come hang out
Awesome. In Melbourne.
in Melbourne. Because there has
Uh,
been some discussion around the correct
yeah,
pronunciation.
I got Raz for saying
Melbourne.
Melbourne Instruments.
Melbourne. That's
Melbourne
fine.
Instruments.
No, it's all right. It's good. It's
That's all right.
yeah, it's all right, eh? Fucking eh. We could
uh,
the funny is because you talking about the rap song earlier, and it's like rapping. The Australian rap scene is so strange because we have like this subcategory called like gutter rap. The real. I don't want to use I don't want to use terms that don't reflect Australian culture, but like you the kind of like ghetto or like the really like we call it eshay.
Ishay?
Eshay, which is it's the all the lads and ladettes. They really like their gutter rap. Talk about real issues.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's interesting because like when Australian hip hop was first kind of blowing up, when like there was a group called Hilltop Hoods that sort of exploded in domestically, and I think there was a lot of pushback for because I grew up with a lot of friends who were really into DMX and Tupac,
Right.
Eminem. We get all of our culture. I mean, Australia just in general, we got all our culture sort of like imported from America for the most part. So when Australian rappers were kind of like blowing up in a big way, there was a bit of pushback, like that the accent sounded weird to rap with, but like
Right, right.
I think over the years it's been really interesting to sort of hear how that shift is like
I
how
do
that culture shift has happened. Like,
That was one thing that I noticed about the rap was
mm,
the accent,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it immediately made me think of, like, American pop country music, where it's like there's obviously I mean, that's singing with a country
mm.
accent, but it's like and then you listen to, like, how old was I when I realized that the Beatles were from the UK and they had accents, but they didn't
Mm.
sing with accents, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a real Yeah, it is a pushback. There is pushback, historically with, Australian artists, singing and using their using the local dialect and local accent
Yeah,
in their
yeah.
music. And now I think over the last few years, we've had a few bands that have kind of broken through and really sort of leaned into the accent. So, I mean, especially, Smith Street Band and some of the like Lime Cordiale and there's a few others that are like kind of on the way up sort of internationally that have that really like championed it. But
Yeah.
it's you don't really hear it in, because there's lots of Australian bands that like that and Australian artists who have songs that like are gigantic, and you just would never know unless you knew, unless you're
Right.
Australian, basically.
Yeah.
So, and
Uh,
I do wonder if if that kind of happens in other countries, especially like countries with small populations, you know, and not a lot of like sort of cultural sway. Like, I feel like in the UK, they, if you sing with with your accent, it's not as like, I don't know, it's not as kitsch, because it's culturally the UK and in music has always been very influential and very like
right.
what happens in the UK music scene gets basically
But I
pushed
think
out
there
a lot.
are more rap acts now
Mm.
using their dialect accents
Oh yeah.
in their music, you know?
Oh yeah, don't yeah. That's the like a lot of the kids, again, the kids that I work with,
They're all
it's
about it.
all about it, all about drill, all about grime. Well, not really about grime anymore. It's all about drill, and there's a even in and now even in drill music, like there's the Aussie drill scene has like, where like our performers in that genre are also like really leaning into the accent as well. So it's crazy how that like it's almost there's like an element of like cultural sort of solidarity that's happening now. And I think with how much music there is these days, I think like, why not differentiate yourself? You have to differentiate yourself somehow. So
Yeah,
like, why not lean into,
you have to be unique in some sort of
yeah,
way.
it
Yeah.
it is always a bit of a fuck. It is always a bit of a mind fuck when you hear a song that doesn't normally have an Australian accent sung in an Australian accent. So that's fun. That's always fun.
Well, should we start listening to some music?
Let's listen. Let's have a go.
All right.
What should we listen
I
to?
think I'm gonna start from 2012 and work our way up.
All right,
All right.
let's go.
So 2012, week 20, I haven't gotten used to this. Here we go. right, that was I haven't gotten used to this from back in 2012, week 20.
Mm.
Does it bring back some memories?
It sure does. Yeah, I was because that piano was like recorded. Yeah, recorded. The piano in the rumpus room of my girlfriend at the time's parents' place. No, it's just we were just staying there because they were away or something, and I just set up all my gear and recorded that piano mono single microphone. And then
Nice.
just like, because I had the idea, like, again, this is one of the ones where I have the idea, I have the musical lyrical idea, and I just wanted to just blat it out. And so one take the structure on the piano. It's again very short song because I only had I had two verses and like a really minuscule hook, if you can
And
call it
only a
that.
week.
Yeah, well, pretty much because I was just there, did the recording of the piano. I think I think it's acoustic. I think it's electric bass as well. So I would have done the bass part, and then the drums and stuff. Like I probably knocked it out in like a day. Um, the funny thing is, so if you were if you've been listening at home and you've been listening, if you were listening in headphones, it probably sounded fine. If you're listening on speaker, if you're listening on a speaker, you might not have heard the vocals very much at all because I accidentally flipped like this. Like I accidentally had a stereo phase inversion
Oh, no
thing.
way.
Um,
They are kind
and
of low anyway, the
yeah,
vocals.
yeah, definitely like very like squished up in the mix somewhere, even with the headphones. So the headphones you can still hear it because you've got it's going straight in, but like depending on and if you try and listen in mono like on a Bluetooth speaker, like it's
They're
gone.
just
There's
gonna
nothing
cancel it.
there. There's
Yeah.
nothing. It's yeah. So it's a bit sad.
So at this point in time, how much music had you been making? You've been making chip music,
Mm,
but this is like m- not chip music, more of like a band arrangement. How long
yeah.
were you in bands before?
Um. Yeah. So at the I'd played in like like church band and stuff when I was that was still my scene. And like I was in very briefly I was in a pop punk band called Sophomore Summer. Big 2010 cringe energy, but you got to love it. But yeah, I hadn't really like been in bands, but like part of growing up, like I've always listened to music with band music, right? Like I haven't it started with like electronic music because that's what I wanted to make when I first
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
But then I was always interested in playing and performing in bands and trying to get like as a teenager, like trying to like play music that I liked with people, but like not really having a lot of people that liked the music that I liked. So having a lot of sort of difficulty kind of
Mhm.
finding people that wanted to play with me or for me to find people that were playing the music that I wanted to play. So
Right.
up until, you know, up until like 2018, I was never really like in performing in bands that were like gigging. I was never like
Got it.
on stage doing stage stuff. So I got it.
But you had enough musical experience to make chiptune music and
Mm,
arrange songs and
yeah, I started with actual Fruity Loops. So the 3.5, like Fruity Loops 3.5, cracked version because I wanted music for my Flash animations that I was making as
yeah,
a
Flash.
as a very as a very young boy, and I kind of got so into making the music that I stopped making animations like pretty soon after because
Yeah,
I had so much more fun making music.
I think it was good to get away from Flash art.
Mm, mm. I never really got away from the like
R.I.P.
yeah, I never got away from the like community around it. So like I was like for the longest time, and I like still occasionally do still involved in like Newgrounds as a music community. And I was an audio moderator on Newgrounds for a number of years as well.
Nice,
So like
nice.
I had my had my finger on the pulse of like the sort of like internet animation, community.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't end up getting that much into it. Like animation's a lot more work than making music, honestly.
Yeah.
It's
This
just
is, I mean, I haven't even convinced myself to dabble in video yet. So animation's a whole league above that. So,
mm. And I couldn't be
all right,
bothered learning. Oh, sorry.
we're gonna keep it go. Us.
I was gonna
I
say
was gonna.
I
No, you
couldn't
say
I couldn't be bothered to learn how to draw good, let alone draw good
right.
like hundreds of thousands of times. Like, yeah, too much effort.
Yeah. No. No. I agree with you. Lots of editing and yeah, a whole nother art skill.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. All right, the next one is gonna be. I think I'm saying this correctly.
Princess.
Princess.
Yeah.
The instead of an E, it's a V.
Yeah. As what
This
as
is
was the fashion at the time.
ooh, yes. This is way back in 2016, week 12. All right, here we go. All right, that was Princess
Ooh.
2016.
Yeah.
Still reaching back there.
Yeah. Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think I made that. I was borrowing a computer off my grandma because my laptop had died, and I needed a computer to finish the last. It was the I was finishing my honors thesis when I borrowed that computer, and then I just never gave it back because she just didn't want it. I swear, I didn't steal a computer off my grandma.
Yeah, you didn't steal from your grandma. Just to set the record straight.
But so it was like a real chopped like HP all in one kind of deal. Like
Yeah.
no audio interface. So it was a rough couple months for my music production for a bit there. So the first like the first like 14, 15 weeks of 2016 were like all made on that like crappy old computer, which is awesome. I love that. But yeah, the vocals on that.
What made this in your picks?
Yeah, I think just the vibe is really good. The production process on it particularly, so that's all the synths. were all 3x oscillator. So the basically like FL Studio's default synthesizer. It's like, it's ancient and it's basic, but it just slaps. It's got like honestly the best envelopes and like LFO options of any like default synth in any door. I think like Ableton users fight me. I don't care. Um,
I've been meaning to research dolls, but I have not gotten there yet.
so yeah, all the synths are like out of the same sort of like subtractive synth engine. For a long time I worked with, there was a sort of YouTuber, and like she would do like covers of like famous songs, and like the lyrics would be changed to like League of Legends references, and so I had a whole bunch of like and she would do like covers of like anime openings and stuff. So shout out Sandy Popushi. She was an absolute legend. I don't think she's been active for a long time, but yeah,
Shout out Papushi.
yeah, a whole bunch of her like vocal stems, and I just chopped them up and made some cute noises. And I don't know, it's just a vibey song. I think it's just a great vibey song. Bass is really loud though.
It's super fun.
I did change.
I mean,
I did have
I
to
like the
remaster
bass.
that. Yeah.
I thought it sounded good.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think it's just on a big system. It's like way too doughy. So I did go back and remaster it eventually. Maybe I'll release it one day. Who knows? We'll see.
So, thinking back to 2016 when you made this song, what are some of the things that you kind of would sum up the like 2012 to 2016 era? I know 2014 was a flop to you, but like
Yeah.
you've been doing it for a while now. You've done, you know, a, a good amount of songs at this point.
Yeah, I think my sort of like my musical influences were changing a lot, and it's actually from spending a lot of time with people in the Aussie chiptune scene who are like just incredibly talented and amazing producers. Just learned a lot through listening to their music, and through like listening to the artists that influenced them. And I think around that time was just I just seen I saw Sophie live for my 25th birthday, and that like just blew my mind. And I really wanted to like sort of evoke some of those some of those sounds, but just through the methods that I was comfortable with. Yeah,
That you'd learn from the chip community.
yeah, from the chip community, and with the tools that I like kind of had, instead of like getting excited buying a Electron mono machine for like all of the money that I had at the time, just use the tools that were at my disposal to like make the music that I wanted to make, which I think is like a super chiptune kind of ethos as well, right? So
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I think it's just a good lesson even when you do have the means to use more of the shit that you already have.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely, there's like a lot of inspiration comes from that, like that restriction
It's
and that.
true. It's
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
100%.
as we were talking about before we started recording, like I bought a bunch of guitar pedals and shit, and then I just made a song and I couldn't be bothered with any of that. It's all on the M8. So like and I'm like, oh, I guess I should have used some of that stuff, but it's there for inspiration.
But do you know what? I'm actually I'm kind of scared to buy an M8 because like I feel like it's gonna pull me away from all the stuff. There's a bit of like a sunk cost fallacy with all the other like Outlaw gear, right? I don't want to buy an M8 and then just like never use anything else ever again. Like I feel like that's what's gonna happen. So I'm a little bit hesitant.
There is that danger. There is that danger.
For sure.
But I still recommend it.
100%.
So
Thanks,
all right, we're
Tim.
gonna keep it rolling with Long Goodbyes. This is from 2018, week 7.
take a step out of your front door. I turn and smile cause there is nothing left to run from. The sun will shine without help from me. And every moment here is final, in spite of everything that will outlast. Cause even stars had to die to make way for me. And I remember my old days, when I wake up in a cold sweat, and all my feelings are hollow, and I can see where I follow. I hold on to the long nights, cause I'm afraid of longer. Step is a commitment to never turn and look at all you had to run from. You live your life without help from me, and every moment is a trial to fight the world you built inside your head. How many stars would you kill to make way for me? And I remember when I wake up in a cold sweat, all my feelings are hollow, and I can see where I'm followed. I hold on to the long nights, cause I'm afraid of long goodbyes. I'm afraid of long goodbyes.
All right, that was Long Goodbyes. And is that you on vocals?
That is me on vocals, yeah.
Wow.
It's definitely like there's a deliberate attempt to sort of change the way that I sung and the tonality of my voice on that. Not because I particularly don't like my singing voice, my normal regular singing voice, but it was just like
it fit the song.
Well, yeah, it did. Also, that song was made for another with another music thing in mind. So we had there was another community called Chips Compo, which was run by Weekly Beats user John F.
Oh, slap your mic.
So
there you go.
There we go. One's in my mic again. So yeah, it was written for Chips Compo, which was another community run by Weekly Beats user John FN. Shout out, John.
Shout out. Oh, your mic went out again.
Yeah, fuck. Okay, hopefully this doesn't keep happening. All right.
John FM?
John FN.
FN, like function.
Yeah. Function, yeah. The John function. Yeah, shout out. But yeah, so on the part of like a sort of side quest in that community and in the way that it functions, it was sort of like Battle of the Bits, where there's like 1 hour compos or like, you know, the regular compos and sort of themed writing challenges and stuff. But part of the like a side quest on it was that you had to guess, like songs were anonymously uploaded and anonymously sort of presented at first, and so you had to guess who had made each song. And so like there was a little bit of like
your voice a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of a challenge of like trying to make a song but not make it sound immediately obvious that it was you that made it. And there weren't a whole lot of other people doing vocals on the site at the time. So I tried to just sort of, to me, it's really obvious that it's me. But then I guess if you don't listen to me all the time,
Yeah.
like I do,
I mean, the more I listen to it and talking to you, I can tell that you created this, but
mm,
I don't think if you gave me like the other vocal songs that I heard from you, like they don't seem like the same person. So great job disguising, I guess.
Fonzie. Yeah, no, thank you so much. That actually like really, that feels really good to know that I achieved or like succeeded in my aim there. I love that. There's a real like satisfaction that you get when you set out, I think, with any piece of music with a very specific goal in mind, even if that goal is like a side quest or like sort of
Mm-hmm.
tangential to the song or the piece itself. There's like a real, there's a real satisfaction in like hitting your target, like hitting the bullseye on like on an
Yeah.
emotion that you were trying to evoke, or like a tribute, like an homage that you were trying to sort of make. Like, yeah, it's just super
Fun
satisfying to hit
fact,
that. Yeah,
I'm sure you know the artist Shaggy that sings "It
yeah,
Wasn't Me."
of course.
Uh, I saw an interview with him recently that he's like, "Oh, my whole singing voice is just like I started it as kind of like a joke, and and it kind of worked, and so he sings in
Yeah,
this like fake voice that he made."
I gotta wonder if like Scott Stapp is doing the same thing, like. Because no, like I don't think there's anyone who's out here like we're all wide open. Like no one's doing that.
Oh, that was
Like
a perfect with arms wide open.
no one's doing that.
So
Unironically,
I
right?
grew up in Orlando at
Oh,
like
okay.
the height of Creed,
Yeah.
and so yeah.
You could probably like
Uh,
that's just like how people sing over there, right? Like so
it's
everyone
true.
sounds
Yeah,
like that
that's they call that the Orlando voice.
for real. You, if
Oh
that was
my
a
god.
joke, if that was a joke, I took it completely at face value, and now
It was a
I am going to repeat that actually as a trivia fact from now
cool.
on.
That's
So
perfect. Yeah,
thanks for
you
that.
might win some trivia there in
I hope
Australia.
so.
So,
Ah,
all right, we're gonna keep
cheers.
it rolling with Jumpsta Fuck. Yeah, this is 2020 week 42. Which is a time that I don't really like to remember back to, but
Mm.
here we go. All right, that was Jump to Fuck. So good. Goes hard.
Jump to fuck. It's meant to be like Scottish Twitter sort of. Jump to fuck.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Sorry to all the Scots. Shout out Scottish people. You're the funniest.
What made this one on your list? I'm guessing because it's some chiptune goodness.
It's chiptune goodness. It just slaps. I was kind of over the year, and there was a few other tracks. It's like Bovomancer, Drama Llama. Oh, I think it was just Bovomancer and Drama Llama that kind of used this fake bit banger template that I kind of put together, and it's all of the synths are Magical 8-Bit Plugin 2, which had just been released that year. Shout out Yokimura-san. That plugin slaps. It's fantastic. Just the best 2A03 sort of emulation that you can run on a DAW, I think. Yeah, but I'd kind of been working around like this template of like, big EDM drums with the like just stacking, heaps of chiptune stuff. Oh, sorry, I just remember there's a few instances of mini synth and Medusa 2. So Medusa 2, I don't know, I think 2XAA or Sam Ray is a Weekly Beats member as well. So shout out to him for making Medusa 2.
Nice. All sorts of shout outs.
Yeah. So I've been working on this template, been developing kind of like the sound of the production of it and like refining that sound, like doing that like fiddly detail work, but like over the course of like multiple tracks. And I think this is the one where I kind of hit the peak of what that sound could be, and the sort of the heaviness and the like just the power of it just really hit my stride with that sound there. And so I'm just really proud of it. Like,
so you kind of worked on some of the bits and pieces over several tracks that all came together, like the skills all piled up to make this thing that you're like super proud of.
Yeah, definitely. And something that I did there was that Jump the Fuck Up sample. At first it was going to be Corey Taylor from the song of the same name by Soulfly. I was just going to take that vocal sample, but then obviously like I don't condone using uncleared samples on Weekly Beats. As a site moderator, so I just redid I just redid the vocal myself with like over a couple takes and with a bit of like studio magic, and then you run it through Fami Tracker to get that sort of deep DPCM sound on it.
Nice.
Yeah. So very, very fun. Lot of different sort of processes there, but using a very like limited sound set to its like fullest potential, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, it goes hard. It's definitely got that power. Well done.
Thank you.
2020.
You. The best year ever.
Oh man, it was great.
Unironically, I unironically had, all things considered, a pretty good year in 2020. But
I wish I had gotten into music in 2020. To all my time that I did, who knows what.
Yeah. So. You're here now, though. You're here now.
We're here now.
And that's the beauty of life. It's all about it's the real winners are the friends you make along the way.
Oh, true. You heard it. Original quote from Midimachine.
Indeed.
And here's a good segue into a song called Just in Time, 2022, week 3, early in 2022. All right, here we go.
come before I fall, but I think I took it well. Did my best, I gave him hell, and I think you saved the day. Shouldn't be hard, shouldn't be more than I can do. Handful of cards, but I made the call before I knew. When I fall before the line, when I make it just in time, when I think you saved the day. Such a crazy thing to say, and it's easy to look back, turn the gray to white and black, but I see where I was blind, and I'll make it just in time.
That was Just in Time. Man, it's such a great song. Like
Oh,
I don't know, the layers are just like perfectly placed cuz it's not a very busy song, and the vocals sound great. And as I've mentioned before, I'm doing some tests trying to record some vocals and write some lyrics and stuff, and I don't like it.
yeah. That's
So but I mean, this sounds really good, and I guess what I want when I first release something with vocals is to get like real feedback, to be like,
Mm.
yeah, I would go redo that, or here's how you could make that better.
Yeah. Vocal mixing's really tricky. I think we were talking before we started recording just about like microphones and sort of tonality and stuff. And more so than the microphone sometimes, it's the room and the preamps and stuff, right? Like especially if you want to like if you do want to push the gain a bit hard, like you want to get that saturated
Yeah.
kind of sound, like you really do need like pretty solid, like good pre's. And I think I'm running like the MPA2, which is by Art. Yeah, by Art. So they're just like it's like a really cheap tube preamp, but it like when you
Nice.
run it hot, it like it's just nice and like heavy and warm, and it doesn't go fuzzy or like sharp. Like it's just, so having that, the Warm Audio WA14, really great 414 clone. And
You're also doing a ton of EQ after all of that, because it doesn't sound like it's just like your straight singing voice.
Well, yeah. So it's the compressor. It's more so the compression. Like it's slapping the compressors like on vocals hard as you can. Like you really don't need, especially for like rock and pop vocals, you don't need dynamics at all, really. So just slam it as hard as you can, and then if you need to change the volume, just do the volumes in post, because then you get that really like upfront clear sound out of that. And I think the other thing is like multi-tracking it. So those And I did actually. You speak about like doing video before and like how much effort it is. I did actually try doing a few little like Weekly Beats videos that year for the first couple
Yeah, you
weeks.
got this whole production video that goes along
Which,
with this.
if you're listening right now and you haven't seen the song before, or if you haven't seen that video before, you've just heard the song and you really are interested in how that production goes, go jump on the song page and watch the video, because I basically just like break down at a surface level all the different like production things that are going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
And I think that exercise as well was really good for me to like think about and evaluate my process as well. And with that song, I'm actually like really happy with the process. I think it all made sense, and the decisions that I made had like a good logic to them. There's a lot of times I make a song and I don't know why the fuck I did it the way I did it. It does.
Just
I don't know.
the thing I tried right then.
I don't even know if it sounds good, but
Yeah.
luckily with this one, it all, there was a real intention behind it, and it all just kind of came together really, really like relatively simply. The fact that the guitar sounds as good as it does is crazy, because it's like it's the baritone ukulele, like the sound, like not even like DI'd, it's the sound hole in front of like I think a 58 or a 57.
Oh wow. Okay. I thought it was
And then
DI.
no, it's like coming out of the sound hole, which is why
Wow.
it probably sounds a little bit chopped sometimes. But once you like throw that recording through an amp sim, shitloads of distortion, actually running through the same compressors as the vocal, so like everything was like everything was super hot. It just goes hard. It's
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. And like the arrangement, like there's just a lot of like emotion to this song.
The only thing, yeah, and I think because lyrically, like at the time, I was kind of a little, I guess, like despondent about sort of some of the things that were like some of the way that my life had sort of panned out. Which, in hindsight, I'm actually like fucking so glad that like if I knew then how the next 3 years would go, I'd be like, yeah, you fucking don't worry about it, man. You're all good. But in that despondency, I was also kind of recognizing that, I'd been in this position before, but worse. And then that, realizing that. And so that line of like, it's easy to look back and turn the gray to white and black was kind of about that. It's like, you can look back and say, oh, like everything was shit or everything was great. And here, but actually like your whole life is like ups and downs. It's there's lots of, there's all the different shades of gray in life, and it's really easy to look, but once you recognize that, it's probably easier to move. It's a bit easier to move forward and make some more grays.
Yeah. 100% agree. It's easy to think that it's not going to pan out great, and you've made it through in the past. So
yeah, 100%. The only other thing I would say is like coming back to the guitar tone is that I used FL Studio's like built in. It's fucking awful. I don't actually recommend using that one. There are lots of free like amp sims that are actually good. Don't use hardcore. It's a fucking it's actually highway robbery that that it's included not with the base level of like it's a base level product, but it's in the like premium but not like super premium tier of FL, which I think is very silly.
I'll take your word on it.
For sure.
All right. This is where I would normally be like, well, this is the end of our episode. We have one more. But you have such a long catalog and you picked a bunch. And I also picked some overlapping songs with you, but there's a couple that I'm like, we got to listen to these. But we're going to finish your picks with Redemption Arc, which is the first one from 2024. And then I have 2 more I want to play.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
we're going to do that. All right. Redemption Arc.
There was a time when I was looking for love, and you were my mind, and no one else was enough. But I was scared of getting stuck in the way of what was keeping you there. So then I gave you here. Until we let's make a promise that we'll be honest. Can I make you happy? Can I make it right? There was a moment I was searching for truth. Found it in the mirror that I held to you. But I was blind to what was staring me back when I looked in your eyes. So then I gave you here until we did I'm always open as long as I'm open. You're always an option. We'll start from tonight. Let's make a promise that we'll be honest. Can I make you happy? Can I make it right? So then I give you here until we did let's make a promise that we'll be honest. Can I make you happy? Can I make it right?
All right. That was Redemption Arc.
Mm.
Good Lord. That's a good song. Holy shit.
Yeah, I do think it's probably for my money, the best song that I've made. I'm so proud of it, and I think it's funny because we're talking about that the band that I'm in, so the band that I was in, Trigger Joe, and Just in Time and Redemption Arc are like the sort of yin and yang of that band's sound in a way. So without meaning to, it's cool that we've kind of got that. We've kind of like got the best the two sort of separate identities of what that band was doing, sort of represented in these songs. I love that, and I love talk boxes. So like, Everything's
I
great.
mean, it is perfect for this,
Mm,
and I was kind of curious just how this came together because the bass line sounds like because it is kind of the foundation to the song. Was
mm.
that how it began?
Yeah, actually was the baseline. So that's yeah,
I mean,
it
it's such a fundamental part of it. Kinda had to be the
yeah.
first thing.
And well, actually, the first thing was the lyrics and the sort of melody was
Okay.
floating around in my head around like New Year's, and I was on holiday, and we come back, and I've just like as soon as I got home, I've just like got all this stuff out and just threw it like throwing it together, like racing to get it over the line. But apart from just the lyrics and the vocals, that bass was 100% the first thing that I came to, and I tried to I wrote it on electric, but I couldn't. I'm not actually particularly great at guitar or bass guitar, so and it didn't even then like even trying to chop it up and like make it sound good, like it just didn't have that like I don't know that joie de vivre that the that synth bass has like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
real like that throaty like that sound that's that so that plugin is unique by Sugar Bytes, which has just like built-in formant synth with like a sort of like a morph function, so you get that sort of
Yeah.
tonality to it.
Mhm.
So fucking cool, such a great synth. And playing like doing it that way, having the bass line first and sort of feeling the chords out around that, um, then throwing the drums on and the drums are just BFD player, like the free BFD kit. So
Yeah, you didn't need a real showy drummer on this one.
no. Did run it through a cassette emulator, little bit of saturation just to give it that like smoky
Yeah.
tone. But yeah, super simple arrangement. And then the synth solo, the synth solo was really fun. So I actually sung the synth solo
Oh,
at first. I
just
just
to
sort of
get the
like
melody together?
just
Yeah.
to get it together, and then so like run it in new tone, which is like FL's sort of melodyne ish thing. Dump the MIDI file, out to the door, and run it in whatever synth I wanted. I think it was Harmless or something.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so like it actually came together relatively quickly. The vocals were hard. I've been performing with Talkbox for a while, but like actually not many parts where the lyrics were needed to be like really legible or really clear and articulated
Mhm.
well. Actually singing clear lyrics with a Talkbox is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. And so there was a bit of a learning process around that. And I did have to flub some stuff in post. You could definitely hear some of the S sounds don't really come out the way that they don't come out in a way that feels really clear and defined. And I
Mhm.
guess that works. It works in the overall tonality of the song, but if I could go back and do it again, I would like to just spend a bit more time on the vocals and on, I guess, enunciating, being able to like get the words out more
Yeah,
clearly.
but still with
Yeah.
the talk box.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
So the talk
It
box,
works.
yeah.
It works so good.
And it played so not mid, like I played it on a mini log, just
Nice.
yeah, so played alongside it as well, which potentially made things more difficult, but I think it necessary for how to make it feel really natural and
Yeah, yeah.
live performance I guess. Yeah.
That human touch.
You need that human touch. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. All
Yeah.
right. Since I'm adding more songs, we're gonna keep it going.
Yes.
And I really love this next one, 2022, week 14, Kinda Monophonic.
Ooh.
All right, that was Kinda Monophonic, and I was kind of drawn to this one, I think because, well, for people that aren't reading the description right in front of them,
Mm.
this is a challenge that you gave yourself to do a track where only one instrument can be triggered at a time. So no
Yeah.
layers, like nothing crazy. And I think this showcases your ability to make something
Mm.
simple that's still like super interesting. Like the extra space kind of adds to it. Uh, like the sounds, by even one triggered sound, like it sounds so good.
Mm.
So just
Yeah.
like the the last song we heard, Redemption Arc, where like it's not a complex song. You don't have a showy drummer, but man, it just grooves, and really cool challenge that showcases how well you can build something even if it's like super super simple.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can't take credit for the idea because, yeah, there's obviously like the M8 one track challenges, and I think my inspiration for this was from I remember I think I remember it was Zero F Digital of, yeah, Rob and Tubers McGee. So Rob and Callum were having a conversation at like a Square Sounds about like doing something similar but with like in a classical setting, because that's what Callum was kind of doing at the time, and so I was like, yeah, why don't I just like bring that into a door? Like I just thought about that conversation and just like, yeah, let's give that a go. So shout out Rob, shout out Callum. And yeah, all the sounds and stuff like FM synths, great for making complex sounds from like a single single note trigger. Those
Yeah.
long evolutions and those big tonal shifts that you can get with FM really like lent itself to this sort of sound. And that kind of groove that you get from like two-step garage or something. It's a little like off kilter even for for that genre, but
Yeah.
I think it really like lent itself well. Definitely going back, I would potentially even like synthesize the kick so that I could like get a longer like delay off of that and like use that as a
Yeah.
double that up as a bass line or something. You know, maybe another time. Kind of Monophonic too.
Yeah.
Coming
Yeah.
up soon, maybe. But
2026, the year of the outboard.
I've got to do it in outboard then. How am I going to do that? That's
I don't
another.
know.
That's the other challenge.
That's part of the challenge. It's part of the challenge.
I'll buy an M8 and do a 1-track challenge. That's how I'll do it. Maybe.
And then sell the rest of your gear at the end of 2026 when all you're using is your M8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be great.
It'll pay off the M8.
For sure. And then some. Yeah.
For sure. But it's great. Yeah. It's a great little track. And what I loved is that because starting with the kick snare and the low bass, and then I was kind of worried like, oh, where am I going to fit hi-hats? Where am I going to fit like when you actually like break out a 4-bar loop, that's like 64 different places you can put things. It's actually there's actually a lot of space for stuff, and you don't have to use all of it all the time.
Yeah.
And that's, I think the crash, that like ride cymbal, that's like the crash, I think that was the last thing I put in. I was really pleasantly surprised that I had a very like fitting, like a place where it could land and feel good. Because you would normally you chuck a crash on the downbeat, at the end of something, or like on downbeats, building up and stuff. You don't normally like stick it on an offbeat and have it sound good. But it just like, I don't know, it just kind of worked out really well.
Yeah, I mean, it gave you an opportunity to put things in places you wouldn't normally think to put them.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool.
Well, we've got one more song that I'm going to play on the way out. But it has been a super pleasure to bullshit for... Sorry, this is a long episode, everyone. But there's a lot of history here. I mean, it's an honor to talk to someone who has been doing weekly beats and music creation for this long. And like I've mentioned before, such a welcoming and accommodating community that no doubt is this way because of people like you that have been doing this and helping everyone for, over a decade now. So thank you for helping build this community and keep it going for this long, and moderating, and
it's absolutely a pleasure. Thank you, and anyone who suggested me, or even just anyone who's been thinking about me at all at any time. You're all legends. I'm just humbled that and honored that I'm someone that people consider worth listening to. If you've changed your mind about that over the last like close to 2 hours, I don't apologize. Go fuck yourself.
But we don't even know. We don't even know what's going to happen in 2026 because you just told us how unpredictable you are. So who knows what you're going to make with Outboard.
Yeah, whatever I make, it'll be with Outboard.
You're the Outboard.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, my final song is When I Should Have Zagged.
Ooh.
Which maybe, to end this on kind of like an emo song. But I don't know. There's something about this song. This is from what week in 2024?
15, I think.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, nice.
Just a great composition, touching lyrics, another one of those kind of like vulnerable things. And I think what you were just talking about a little while ago is like, it's easy to look back in life and be like, oh, maybe I should have taken a different turn here. So definitely relate to the message. I think we've all felt that way at some point. So I was just kind of drawn to it, and I was like, I think people need to hear this.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah,
That's-
we're gonna conclude the episode and play that out for everyone. And thanks again for coming on and making the time. And thanks to everyone who continues to make time to listen to this, because I I was laughing because I think like when before I made an episode, I was like, I think they'll be about like 45 minutes long. And then now I'm like, oh man, they're like every episode's like an hour and a half to 2 hours long. So
Yeah.
especially
Sorry
when
about
you got a yapper on board.
Yo, actual professional yapper. Let's go.
But you're on here so people can hear you yap. So
True. I'm
Yeah.
allowed.
you're allowed. You're 100% allowed. So yeah, thanks again. And we're going to play it on out when I should have zagged.
Peace.
Peace. A quick message from post-production land. Editing this episode, I realized that this song does not in fact have lyrics, but what I wanted to talk about was the fact that a lot of the titles are kind of a lyrical message in themselves. This song in particular makes me feel a lot like the title. So, here we go. But wait, there's more. I also decided in post-production that we really needed to hear that rap song. So here is Back from the Grave from 2024.
Yeah. Take two. Check it out, y'all.
You talk a big game when you're lining up, and now you're back on the stage, but you're grinding up. We took it from the top, now we're climbing up, and now we're back from the grave, and your time is up. You talk a big game when you're lining up, and now you're back on the stage, but you're grinding up. We took it from the top, now we're climbing up, and now we're back from the grave, and your time is up.
I used to spit shit, now I'm fire on the regular. Devil on the mic, make the Pope go secular. Make your way to heaven, I'm the will and executor. 187 as I kill the competitor. So don't be talking about your lethal intentions. Talking sick shit cause you're seeking attention. Your girl on my D, you ain't even in my mentions. Put your pen down and apply for a pension. Que sera, whatever might go. I make the harder bars whenever I flow. My beats are artisan, yours are from Bilo. I think I dropped the bomb, I better lie low. I'm psycho, I need a dose of risperidone. Sick in the head and it shows when I'm in the zone. Taking the meds, now I'm close to a clearer tone. Sine waves ringing in the head when I sleep alone.
You took a big game when you're lining up, and now you're back on the stage, but you're grinding up. We took it from the top, now we're climbing up, and now we're back from the grave, and your time is up. You took a big game when you're lining up, and now you're back on the stage, but you're grinding up. We took it from the top, now we're climbing up, and now we're back from the grave, and your time is up.